Hello everyone, today is July the, I believe it's the 19th or the 20th. I'm not sure, I don't got a calendar in front of me. But anyway, it's 2014, Sunday, so we should know about what day of the week it is from there. I really, when I make these videos, I don't exactly know what I'm going to just come in and talk to you guys about. I usually love to talk about how we can somehow, in some way, better ourselves and better our lives and make our lives more powerful. And at the same time, how can we live in happiness, emotions, and emotions of enjoyment, emotions of, you know, just great emotions. How can we live in those more often than not? You know, how can we accept the emotions of anger and fear and these negative emotions more so that we can understand these emotions and understand why they're with us at the times they are with us. I know often if I ever get anxiety, which I do, if I get stressed, which I do, if I get angry, which I do, then I can take a deep breath, hold it for several seconds, and then blow it out. And that automatically I'll feel better because I just felt it right then and there. I know that keeping a smile, even though I'm not the type of person that walks around that keeps a smile on my face all the time, as long as I'm smiling on the inside, that's the most important part, guys. Another thing is that if you believe in your mind that, say, that you believe 10 people really like who you are and love you and they enjoy you, or if you believe in general that people like you, then in general people's going to like you, okay? But if you believe in general that people don't like you, well then in general people's not going to like you because you're going to have something on the inside of your body that's going to be sending out, if you think that people don't like you, then you're going to have some type of energy that's going to be sending out everywhere you go. And not only the energy that's on the inside, and I'll go further into that in a minute, everywhere you go, like if you feel like people don't like you, then you'll tend to ignore people a little bit. And it's not because you're wanting to ignore anybody. It's just because you don't feel like nobody wants to hear you or nobody wants to listen to what you got to say in your heart. And if you go and try to talk to people about what you have on the inside of your heart that you want to talk to people about, a lot of people probably won't listen to you. And it's because you already believe in, before you even get to these people, that they don't want to hear what you have to say. A lot of times when we think that life is just giving us a bad hand, and I guess if this show's going to be about anything, it'll be about the energy that we have on the inside of us, and this life force that we have on the inside of us, and how we can use that life force to get us in better places, of enjoyment, better places of hope, better places of faith, better places of understanding. So I want to expand on that for a little bit here. It's already been 3 minutes, so I hope you stay with me. Okay, so we go out and say you wake up that morning. Your first thought when you wake up, the day's going to be a messed up day, man. It's going to be just a terrible day. And, well, that's your first thought. And science has proven that if you add another negative thought with that first negative thought, which, oh man, it's just going to be terrible, because you might have woke up and you just, a lot of us wake up and we feel groggy and we feel tired. So the first thought to come to our minds will be, oh man, it's just going to be a terrible day. But if you can somehow, get yourself right then and there, go get yourself awake, turn on some good, motivational teachings, get you something that's going to change your mind for that day into good thoughts, and that your day is going to be a great day. Something that can motivate you that morning before you head off into the day to do your work or to go to do your workouts or just, because it's really good to get out of the house and go and have a relationship with life. go and have that walk in nature and enjoy nature, breathe in the air. You know, do anything you can do to get your physiology changed, because a lot of times we think it's just only our thoughts, and it's not just only our thoughts. It's also got to do with the body. If you can get the body going, if you can get your body more moving and you know, just by me straightening it up like that right there, it will automatically, in just a few seconds, I think minutes, in 5 minutes or less, I'll start feeling more upbeat because I just straighten up just a little bit. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just, you know, straighten up a little bit, smile on purpose. And when you do that, your physiology will start to change, and then all of a sudden the body will send positive thoughts to the mind. Just like the mind can send positive thoughts to the body, when you straighten up and smile and maybe go for a walk, get the energy coming up through your feet, breathe in the air, which is basically our number one, you know, besides the Spirit of God, is our number one thing we need to keep us living. I mean, a few seconds without air, you're dead. So get the elements out there. Get the sun shining on your skin so that you can have that energy. I mean, you know, don't get all crazy with it and go out there and spend 5 or 6 hours in the sun and think that that's going to give you all this energy, because it'll probably drain you of your energy. But everything, you know, is in, you got it in moderation, you know, like alcohol. You go and you drink 4 or 5 beers, 3 or 4 beers, whatever. You'll probably feel good and you'll enjoy it. But if you go out there and you drink a 12-pack, then it'll probably make you feel terrible, and plus the next day you'll feel terrible, and maybe the day after. But you know, I mean, Jesus did turn water into wine, guys. I mean, a lot of people really think, you know, man, I don't even, which myself, I don't even like to drink a beer, but I will drink some occasionally, and when I do drink occasionally, it has to be, I have to have in my mind, this is how belief systems go. I have to have in my mind before I even drink a beer that I'm going to enjoy this beer and I'm going to feel good when I drink this beer. Because if I don't, and I think in my mind, oh man, that beer's going to make me feel terrible, well, guess what? The beer, whether it's 1 beer or 3 beers, that's about my max with beer, is about 3 beers. Whether it's 1 beer or 3 beers, then I'm going to feel terrible. I just have a terrible feeling. I mean, you know, I am older than in my 20s, and I remember when I was in my 20s and I could drink, and 3 beers would just get me started. And by the time I drank 6, I was feeling real great. But I don't ever remember drinking more than 5 or 6 beers and having a good time. I mean, really, honestly, I don't. Some people do. But the point behind all of that is it's how you think in your mind that you are going to feel if you do something. So say I go to the supermarket, and while I'm at the supermarket, if I'm believing in my mind that people's looking at me and you know, it's going to take me forever in the supermarket, I'm looking terrible that day, people's going to think I'm looking terrible, I'm going to get in the line, it's going to take me forever to get in and out of the line. If I'm thinking that way, but I'm not controlling my thoughts by thinking, oh man, everything's going to work out, going ahead and seeing myself getting to the line fast, seeing myself just being relaxed and calm in the moment. If I don't actually see that and actually practice that, then I'll catch myself at the supermarket being self-critical of myself, self-judgmental of myself. And a lot of us, we have these belief systems, and our belief systems, we got them through when we went to school, and our school teachers told us to quit daydreaming and to straighten up and to quit making those funny faces in class, and so all of a sudden, not just the school teachers, but your parents and your mother and everybody molded us in, and they all meant well. They all meant well. But the thing is, you might have been heading in a certain direction to be somebody that you wanted to be, which, you know, some people might have been wanting to go be a singer or a great guitar player or a great painter or an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor or anything like that. But because so many people told you, well, you need to stop doing that and you need to do this if you're going to get the bills paid, well, then you might have went on and got that job um, at the at the construction company, and even though you might be making, some decent money and paying the bills and got you a home, got you a car, got you a mortgage and all that, you're still not where you want to be. And the objective is to get back in school, go back to school, don't feel bad for yourself, go back to school. But anyway, to make a long story short with that, it's belief systems, and it's belief systems that we get in our mind, and then when we get those belief systems, we start getting these thoughts, these judgmental thoughts, like, you should be as good as so and so right now. You ought to have own your own trucks and own your own big house and have a perfect wife and 5 kids like he does or like she does. And when you start doing that to yourself, a lot of times you wouldn't do that to a best friend. You wouldn't do that to your child, but you'll do it to yourself, and you'll beat yourself up. And that's where self-compassion comes in at. With self-compassion, we can learn to stop being so judgmental on ourselves. We can learn to stop being so self-critical on ourselves, and we can learn to let the inner child, as you might have heard, the inner child come out and play and enjoy life more. A lot of times we keep the parts that we think is fun in life, we keep it tied up, but we'll let the judgmental part and the critical part out, and that'll run our day all day long. And then at the end of the day, we wonder why we're so anxious. We wonder why we're so tired. We wonder why we wonder why our body's hurting. We wonder why we're so, in fear that we're not telling anybody, but we are. And when I say fear, guys, I'm talking about, again, these self-judgmental thoughts and so forth. So to get back to what I started with, which was basically energy and how we can control this energy, learn to be aware of the self-judgmental and self-critical thoughts. Learn to be aware of thoughts that say, hey, you should have done that, you should have done this, and why didn't you do that, why didn't you come out? Learn to let that part go. Learn to speak back to that part when you hear it in your mind. Because it's basically you. It's basically something that you picked up from the time you was a child to now. And you picked it up and you go around with it every day. And it's trying to tell you, hey, why don't you become somebody you're not? It takes a long time to change and become who we want to be. We already know that. It takes years of schooling, or years of practice, years of study. And the thing is, be good to yourself right now. Go out and exercise if you're able to. And if you're not able to, sit in your house and do deep breathing. And smile. And watch good shows on TV. Good healthy shows, If your show's, The Walking Dead, well, that's okay. But that's not going to help you become relaxed and love yourself more. It might help you, have a great time with the id, but eventually those shows will play a background, and the heavy metal music and all that will play a background to soothing you the way you need to be soothed. And what I mean is, you got a parasympathetic nervous system and you got a sympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system is the area that calms you down. Okay, it calms you down. And we never hear these words from our doctors. We never hear these words from our psychologists. And the sympathetic nervous system is the part that gets you built up and ready to go. Say you're going to go work out. Well, you want to get the sympathetic nervous system ready to go. So you might want to put some heavy metal music on your head or whatever, if that's what you like, some rock and roll, get you going. I like AC/DC, so it might get you going in that area, It might get you. I like to put AC/DC on my head. It starts getting my sympathetic nervous system going, and so I go work out. It gives me energy. I'll drink. Sometimes I drink an energy drink. But afterwards, especially if I work out too hard, I have to come home and calm down. Because if I don't come home and calm down, then I'll stay jittery for the rest of the night from just working out. Because you can really put a lot of stress on your body through working out. Other than the judgmental and the critical thoughts and, the id on the inside wanting to go out and have fun, and you're not you're not listening to the id part, and maybe the id's crying and saying, you know, why don't you ever do this and why don't you ever do that? And maybe the id's getting on your nerves too. And the thing is, we need to let those parts, the self-judgmental part, the self-critical part, we need to let those parts go. And just like a train that goes by, you know, thoughts are the same way. You can jump on the train and entertain that thought, that judgment part is just judging you, it's criticizing you. You can jump on the train and be with that thought, or you can just let it float by your mind and go out of your mind. Okay? And then you can get your mind on what calms down your parasympathetic nervous system, which is soothing techniques like deep breathing, watching good movies that make you laugh, that make you feel good, meditations, certain type of meditations, laughing, and so forth. That if you ever feel like, you know, something's just like you know, like when you go places and you feel like you feel like people's just not out for you, change that thought right there. Start thinking people are out for you. You know, instead of thinking everybody's against you, start thinking everybody's for you. You can, and it takes conditioning, guys. It's called, because you right now, if you're the type of person that thinks everybody's against you, then you have already built up in your mind, from your mind to your nervous system, you have already built up what we call a neural pathway. And this neural pathway, wherever you go, whatever you do, it's unconscious now, and all this is subconscious. And what it's doing is that everywhere you go, automatically you just think in your mind, you know, that people's going to be against you, people's not going to like you, and you think it's everybody else, but it's really you're doing this to yourself. And this is also how we hold back our goals and where we want to go and what we want to do in life. And it's kind of like the person that walks around with the dark cloud over their head. You think everywhere you go that people's against you, and they're really not. What's happening is it's those inner voices, and it's also those emotions that's in your body that you're trying to run from. Okay, you start to feel a little anxious. Next thing you know, you add fear to it. Next thing you know, you start thinking, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?" Next thing you know, it's like a tiger's chasing you. The whole idea of an anxiety or panic attack was to keep us safe from, you know, tigers and stuff. 200,000 or 300,000 years ago, 150,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. There's no reason to have a panic attack no more. But then again, you know, remember when you was a child and you might have been doing something wrong outside in the yard, and your mama comes out and she says, "Hey, stop doing that!" And all of a sudden you take off running and hope she doesn't see you, and then you get around the corner and all of a sudden you just start calming down. But while you was running in a panic or frantically. But you didn't think of it then as, oh, this is a panic attack, and then you added more fear to it, and then you got more panicky. No, when you stopped running back then, you all of a sudden the parasympathetic nervous system came in and it started calming you down. Okay, the sympathetic nervous system is where you get up and you get that rush. Say you take off running because mama yelled, you know. But it's from our primitive times back 100,000 years ago when we lived in tribes, and we had to have those emotions in order to survive. And the thing is, we don't need those emotions unless we're in war now. So say you're a boxer and you're in sports and all that, then the sympathetic nervous system is awesome for that. Okay? Use that part. Like as if you're going to get up and have a big speech in front of people, then the sympathetic nervous system will get you a little nervous. Some people say it gets them real nervous. Some people put it right next, you know, speaking in front of a lot of people, they say it's right next to feeling like they're going to, or feeling like death. Well, then that's a pretty powerful fear. Well, just be prepared. Because when you get up and you start to speak in front of people, what's going to happen is all of a sudden, if you go up there with some courage, what's going to happen? If you're prepared for the speech, what's going to happen is all of a sudden when you get up there, then the parasympathetic nervous system will start relaxing you down. Okay? And we just have to know that if you can learn to work with your energy, with your own energy source, and I guess I'm going to have to make a part 2 of this video, because right now I'm just trying to tell you the basics. And if anybody else wants to know, the part 2 of this video, let me know. Let me know. Say, I want to hear more about this parasympathetic nervous system. I want to hear more about the sympathetic nervous system. I want to hear more about the fight, flight, freeze things that's happening in my life, and how to control them and how to make them happen, and why am I attracting all of this bad stuff to me, and is that the reason? Because I'm in those states when I should be in calming states and powerful states and courageous states. I'm in nervous states and states. Basically a state is however you're feeling at a time. In situations, say you want to be courageous and hopeful and powerful, and you're called on to get up and give a big speech, but you're afraid, terrified, and can't think of the words to say. Even though you got it wrote down on paper, you just can't. And then you get up there and you look down, and all you do is read off the paper. Well, everybody's going to know you're sitting there. Everybody's going to know you're afraid. Even if you don't read off the paper, if you go up there with a spirit of fear in you, everybody's going to know that you got that. And to make this 20-minute video short and end it up, guys, I want to end it on this note. Everything I've said, if you go back and you listen to it again and again and again, everything I've said in this video is to build on the next video, which would break down what the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous systems are and how we can control them. What the fight, flight, freeze states are and how we can control them. Basically, the videos, I can make videos off this video, which this is just an introduction video, on how you can be courageous when you need to be courageous, how you can be hopeful when you need to be hopeful, how you can be powerful when you need to get up and give those great speeches, or you need to go and do anything you need to do, how you can be, the king in your kingdom or the queen in your kingdom. Your kingdom is everywhere you go. Your kingdom is anywhere you go. Your kingdom is anywhere if you're the king in the kingdom, then you should be. Your thoughts will control your whole situation everywhere you go. But again, I'm going to end it on this. If you think that people don't like you in general, people is not going to like you in general. If you think people loves you and likes you in general, well, then people are going to love you and like you in general. And I want to go more into that. I want to go more into that right there, on how to manifest power into our lives so that we can generate more of what we want and less of what we don't want. Now, with that being said, I hope that this video gets some views. I hope people sort of gets what I'm saying and can leave some comments so that I continue to make more videos like this. Now, I will be making more structured videos. I like to get on here and just shoot it from the hip, but I can, have like one thought, like how, to get rid of negative people out of your life. Like that right there. I can go right in, spend 6 minutes teaching, and you'll fully, totally get it, Like I did a video the other day on how to get rid of migraine headaches, and I did it for a friend of mine. I love to study. I've been doing it ever since I was a child. Since I was 6 years old, I've been studying the world of psychology, parapsychology, the religion, self-help, and so much more. I've been doing it all my life, and I have learned so many skills, so many tools, so many techniques that can lift you to your highest and strongest version of yourself, that I want to share all of this, and I want to do it to help you for free through these videos. God bless you. Peace, peace, peace. I mean, I have so much to talk about and so many videos to talk about. You'll be seeing them coming. God bless you. Have a great day.